In this episode of Advisor Revelations,
I didn't care about annuities. I didn't have the background other than to know what they were and know that they were expensive and okay, we'll just put that to the side.
Hear why Andy Tapparo decided to write his first commission-free annuity after 20 years of financial planning and what solutions he's currently using to give his clients peace of mind about retirement.
All righty. Welcome, everyone. My name's Thomas Murphy. I'm a consultant here at DPL Financial Partners. Today, we're joined by Andy Tapparo. He's the founder of Tapparo Capital Management out of Massachusetts. Andy, thank you so much for being on with us.
Thanks for having me, Thomas. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, absolutely, Andy. It's been a pleasure partnering with you so far. So our listeners can learn a little bit more about you. Can you share some of your background and more about yourself?
Certainly. Tapparo Capital Management is an independent RIA. I'm a fee-only advisor. I'm here in Middleton, Massachusetts, which is about 20 miles north of Boston. I work mostly with pre-retirees and retirees, and I'm a strong believer that financial plans are key. It's a roadmap that helps you get towards your goal. And how can you measure progress if you don't know where you're going? So that's why I think planning is very important. And it's funny, a lot of people like to focus on market indexes and beating indexes, but it's more important to focus on your goals and how you're doing to those. I kind of had a different path, I think, getting into this field. My undergraduate degree is in engineering. I started as an engineer and then a strategic planning manager for a large corporation. While I was working in corporate America, if you will, I remember my parents gave me shares of stock in a company that's still around today. And the love was born for investing, I guess. And so I have to thank my mom and dad for that. But I went on to get my graduate degree in finance. And I started my firm back in 1997, as I said, as a fee-only firm. And it's been that way since day one. But one of my favorite quotes that I look back on today is something Confucius said: choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. And I'm living proof of that. I love what I do.
Andy, I love the Confucius reference there about loving your job. I think that's reflective of why you've had so much success over these 20-something odd years, and what you're doing resonates so well with your clients. So thank you for sharing that with us. I had a question about incorporating annuities into your firm. I feel like you've come a long way, especially from being a fee-only planner from the get-go, but initially you weren't really using annuities as much. What triggered you to start looking into the commission-free annuity space?
I come from the annuities are bad camp, and they're just something that are just way too expensive, very complex. It's a commission-based product, which is, something I just can't deal with as a fiduciary fee-only advisor. So it was just something that I never even investigated, because there was nothing out there at the time back in the 90s and through the 2000s. There was nothing that I could do in that space. And from time to time, you'd have a new client would show up at your door, and they had annuities in their portfolio, and you'd ask them, well, what's this for? And I can't think of a single person that knew why they had an annuity. Oh, because my old advisor said I needed it, or whatever. So it was just not something that that I would deal with, and there was really nothing, as far as I knew, that I could do out there. And maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was reading and stumbled upon DPL and what they were doing. And I said, geez, that's awesome. I'm like, why hasn't somebody done this before? It was frustrating that if this was such a valuable tool, why was nobody offering something that I could recommend to my clients with good conscience? When I stumbled upon DPL, that's what I saw, exactly what you guys were doing.
That's perfect. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting you say that, because I've found a lot of advisors who I've spoken with recently who have been in the industry for 20 plus years as well. They've never written an annuity contract. The primary reasons for that consist of the high costs, obviously the high commissions, and the high commitment in that they're tying their clients' money up for sometimes 7 to even upwards of 10 years. So when you discovered DPL, I feel like we solved the commission problem, got you more comfortable in using these products, and ultimately helped lower the cost to make it more worth your client's time. So when you were first going through your clients' VAs, tell us what that process looked like. I mean, what were your initial thoughts on it?
The ones that I looked at, I mean, I really didn't have the background to even know what I was looking at. It was like I skipped that class in school because I didn't care about annuities. So when I joined DPL, one of the first things we did was I dug up all those annuities that those clients had, that were still clients of mine that they had on the side. And I sent them to DPL and said, here's what we have, or here's what my clients have. What can we do with this? And at that point, I had some ideas of where I wanted to use them in that client situation. So talking with you and saying, here's what I have. What can we do to, number one, lower the expense that my clients are paying for these things and give us some more options going forward in the future and how I can meld this into their financial plan. So that was the bulk of what I was doing with you guys when I came on board, was just kind of getting those assets working and doing the best that they could and not sending off fees to another insurance company. So I'm a strong believer in controlling what you can control. We can't always control market returns, but we certainly can control the expenses that our clients are subject to. So that was a key thing.
Absolutely. And I think in a lot of cases, especially going back 20 years, advisors found that annuities were, in a way, too good to be true. And to some degree, that's correct, in that the costs were so high that it was hard to find value in what you were paying for. However, now with the introduction of the advisory market that can cater to the RIA's business practice, we're able to lower costs on those solutions so significantly that it resonates not only with advisors, but more importantly with their clients. So it's interesting that you say that. And to follow up, I mean, I know we're more in a problem-solving relationship right now with all the work that we're doing together, but tell us about how the education you've received and continue to receive has helped you in presenting annuities to the client, especially considering the fact that you haven't been on board with them in the past.
You and DPL have provided me with things that I need to be able to talk intelligently to clients about what annuities are, how they can work for them, and how they can benefit them. I didn't always have the training that I needed to talk intelligently. And I'm going to tell you, it's more than one client has said to me, wait a minute, you said you hated annuities. So I've had to say, yes, you're right. I did hate annuities, but these annuities, the DPL offers, are not your parents' annuities. These are new annuities that really, because of, I said, the things I said earlier about commissions and high fees being stripped out of these things, now they are something that going forward, it's another tool in my toolbox, if you will. My toolbox as I've moved through my career has consisted of your basic things, your hammers, your screwdriver set, and an adjustable wrench and a tape measure. And I've been able to build and maintain client portfolios and help them get to their goals. Along comes DPL and says, hey, that handsaw you got in there, that's nice, but we got this nice circular saw here that'll really get your clients gain more efficiencies in their portfolios and help to mitigate some risks that you're bearing that you really don't need to. It's been great, and I'm still learning to use that circular saw as my analogy, but I feel confident going forward it's going to be a more used tool.
Getting back to your undergrad degree in engineering, I know you take a lot of math into equation before presenting a particular solution to clients. Have you found that Monte Carlo simulations have improved for clients and that the overall likelihood of their success in retirement has also improved by integrating at least a portion of their assets into, say, a guaranteed income stream?
Certainly, the financial planning software I use was driven by a Monte Carlo engine, which, the nerd that I am, before financial planning software even had Monte Carlo engines, I built my own because I did not like the average return projections that planning software used back in the early parts of my career. So by introducing a guaranteed income stream for folks, that certainly does increase the probability of success for them. And that's shown when I use Right Capital to show somebody what their probability of success is. The more income you can get under that guaranteed portion of their retirement income, the better for them. The biggest thing that I worry about in people's portfolios is longevity risk. That's certainly becoming more and more of a concern as health advancements are pushing people's life expectancies a lot further out. So the work that you're asking to do, just a regular equity-based portfolio do for you over for the future years is, I'm shouldering that risk as I manage that portfolio. But with something with a guaranteed income stream for life, that risk is now covered for my clients. And it's not something I have to lay awake thinking about at night. So that's been a big thing for people. In the past, where people had pensions, you didn't worry about that. They had a lifetime income stream that they would never outlive. Pensions are few and far between these days with my clients. So having something that can offer them some of that security, but I think is a much more powerful than just a pension. I hate to just belittle some of the annuities, the variable annuities and some of the other annuities that are out there. They're not just a pension. They have some other unique benefits to them that are worthwhile for clients. So.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, this is all math and science, right? And if we can improve a client's retirement outcome, again, just by integrating a portion of a client's portfolio into a guaranteed income stream, it provides the peace of mind that perhaps a managed money account could not necessarily do. So changing gears a little bit, we know that the interest rate environment is still low and many RIAs can't find enough total return in their bond market right now. This is something that we've battled over the past year and something that we discuss with advisors daily. So how has this partnership with DPL Financial helped take the worry out of planning for your clients' retirement as it applies to their fixed portion of assets that they hold with you?
Yeah, bonds have been, especially now, are an interesting investment. We're sitting here at historically low interest rates, so the income that bonds are paying are next to nothing. And then, as interest rates rise, then the value of bonds drops. So where we're sitting here, I don't necessarily see good things for fixed income. What I've been doing to provide more stability in client portfolios is looking at more income-based equity investments, but that raises the risk in a client portfolio. So that's why I've been very intrigued with some of the things on the DPL platform, fixed index annuities, where you can use that as a bond replacement because you're providing an income like a bond would we provide almost. I know it's tied to an annuity, but with the floors and the buffers. And again, I'm still new at all this, but that I see benefit from. I think it's a great tool going forward. And then the other things I've used with one or two clients who had money that they needed to protect because they needed to access it in the next 5 years. OMIGA has been a great thing for those folks. So there's definitely solutions out there. I'm excited about that where my back was against the wall on income producing assets before, and not being able to get the income without taking added risk is a concern, but DPL is providing me access to things that help mitigate those risks.
The one benefit I would add to that of utilizing DPL over a carrier on the retail side is every solution we have is built not only for the RIA and their client, but by the RIA and their client. And in turn, we're able to have access to better pricing than what the average advisor would have on the retail side. So that's great to know. Ultimately, how do your clients feel about taking on more risks to get what they need?
Everybody's different, and certainly some clients aren't bothered by it. Other clients, one case we just recently worked on together, some people are absolutely petrified of what's going on and the perceived risks that are out there. So it really comes down to each client's ability to withstand that risk. So the clients who are the nervous clients, the ones that I have a harder time helping them stay on the path because, when the market hiccups, they want to freak out and, I'm on the phone with them. The annuities that are here give them peace of mind and allow them to say, hey, I've got this covered. I've got guaranteed lifetime income stream that, I don't need to worry about what the market's doing. So that's been great. Another reason I thought annuities were bad was the annuitization. I would tell clients that when you want to annuitize an annuity, you've basically turned over all your money to the insurance company. They're going to guarantee you a lifetime payment, but they're secretly rooting for you to die the next day because they will keep all that money to help fund the people that live to be 150 years old. I know that's crass, but that's to make the point. What's been nice and what I've learned, the use of income riders and guaranteed lifetime income streams that allow you to get that lifetime income stream, but still have access underneath to the value if somebody was to die early or something. So that's been something that I never knew was available and has been great. And clients are very receptive to that.
Certainly. And I think, the main purpose of annuities as a whole is to be able to transfer the risk from the client's pocket over to the insurance companies. However, as it relates to annuitizing a contract and giving up ownership of your assets, that is not the norm nowadays. Clients want to have a solution that can protect both their principal and their income with the same dollar. And of all the strategies and solutions out there, annuities are going to be able to solve for that problem better than anything.
That's very true. It's the three biggest risks that retirees face, I believe, is number one, longevity risk, which we're taking care of with annuities. The other one is sequence of returns risk. And, the fact that, if you were to retire and you're hit with, 5 years of bad market performance right out of the gate, that is extremely detrimental to a retirement portfolio, and you may never recover. So annuities are good in mitigating that risk as well. And then the biggest risk out there is inflation, and some of the creative ways you can use the annuity and the income streams to kind of keep you ahead of inflation. That makes dealing with those three risks, instead of that all being on me, we're sharing some of that risk through, the insurance product, the annuities.
That's excellent. Well, Andy, thank you very much for joining us on the Advisor Revelations podcast. On behalf of all of DPL Financial Partners, I'd like to sincerely thank you for partnering with us. I'm hoping that we can continue to bring value to your practice and your clients.
Well, thank you, Thomas. And I look forward to many more years of this partnership because I think it's a very valuable tool, and I'm glad I found you guys. So thank you.
It's our pleasure. Thanks again, Andy.
Thanks for listening. To hear more Advisor Revelations, go to dplfp.com and subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts and Spotify for updates.